As I watched the lineup of movies playing on a local TV channel, I noticed something unsettling. Each film seemed to spiral deeper into sinfulness. Character values diminished, behaviors worsened, and morality decayed with each generation. This wasn't just entertainment. It was a mirror. And for those of us in the African American community, it raised a question. What have we learned from what we've been watching? Movies have a tendency to either provoke change or record the need for change. Beginning with the civil rights movement of the 1960s, movies aimed at African Americans did something subtle. They began to normalize lack. Not only material lack but also a lack of spiritual hope. To be poor in resources and in spirit became acceptable. Those who were victimized by this lack were cast as casualties of war. Because when survival is a daily struggle, who has time to dream about success? Meanwhile, success, what it looked like, what it meant, grew more and more out of reach for African Americans. Opportunities were funneled elsewhere. Even those who were colored but not black were lifted up, as if to send a silent message. Being black is not favorable. Eventually, society carved out just a few lanes for us. Entertainment, a few professional careers, and sports. And that's where most of the story stopped. Success was funneled into 3 narrow lanes. Entertainment, where visibility didn't always mean dignity. Sports, where talent thrived but ownership lagged. Professions, where black excellence was seen as the rare exception, not the rule. When youth only see these options, they begin to believe that's all there is. Over time, society narrowed the vision for black success. If you weren't born into wealth or influence, your options were simple: entertain, perform, or be exceptional enough to break through the wall. Let's break down what that looks like. The spotlight with shadows. Yes, entertainment gave us visibility, but often at the cost of dignity. From the 1970s blaxploitation films to modern rap videos, success was linked to hustling, seduction, or violence. Even in comedy, black performers were expected to be funny, but not always free. In music, entire genres were built on our pain, but rarely owned by us. Visibility without voice is still captivity. Physical power, strategic exclusion. From the courts to the track field, black athletes made history. But behind the trophies was a message. Run fast, play hard, but don't expect to own the team. Most young black boys are steered into football or basketball. Not finance, not coding, not leadership development. Even fewer rise into roles of coaching, ownership, or policy change. A few professional careers. Highlighted but hallowed. We have icons: Thurgood Marshall, Dr. Ben Carson, Kamala Harris. But their stories are often taught as exceptions, not expectations. STEM heroes like Katherine Johnson were hidden for decades. And how often do we see black farmers, conservationists, engineers, or app developers in mainstream media? Excellence is not the problem, exposure is. But what if this wasn't just cultural conditioning? What if it was a spiritual war on identity, purpose, and destiny? What if this limited narrative, this idea that black people were only made to entertain, perform, or survive, wasn't just media manipulation? What if it was a spiritual attack? An intentional effort to rewrite what God had authored, to condemn a race not just by oppression but by redefining purpose? This isn't new. In the Bible, we see it clearly in the story of Israel's slavery in Egypt. Exodus 1 verses 9 to 10 KJV says, "Look, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply." What was Pharaoh's fear? Population, potential, power. So he made a move, not just to enslave Israel's bodies, but to suppress their future. He ordered the killing of their sons. He tried to erase legacy, leadership, and lineage. Isn't that what has been happening? From the Middle Passage, Jim Crow, to redlining, to prisons, to poor media representation. It's not just about chains on wrists, it's about chains on the mind. Just like Egypt, today's systems were designed to control growth, prevent uprising, crush divine potential. But here's the good news. This tactic is nothing new. In Exodus 1, Pharaoh said, "The children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them." He wasn't just afraid of numbers. He feared their potential. Like Pharaoh, modern systems often aim to erase legacy before it rises. They rename, restrain, and rewrite before we even know who we are in God. God didn't allow Egypt's script to win. And He won't let the lies of this generation win either. Just like Moses was raised up to declare, "Let my people go." Exodus 5 verse 1. God is raising up voices today, maybe even yours and mine, to say, "Let my people think. Let my people build. Let my people lead, learn, and live according to my purpose, not man's plan." We are not what the world says we are. We are image bearers, nation builders, and kingdom carriers. Let us no longer live under a script that was never written by God. Let us go back to the author, the one who said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." Jeremiah 1 verse 5. And to every person watching this today, especially my black brothers and sisters, you are not a side character in someone else's story. You were always meant to be a part of God's greater narrative. So lift your voice, walk in your calling, and tear up the false script, because God is still writing. And His story ends in freedom. The story isn't finished. This generation has the opportunity to tear up the false script and return to the original author. You are chosen, called, and commissioned. Let's talk about this. Let's pray through it. Let's rewrite the narrative together. Call to action. Drop your thoughts in the comments, start a group conversation, or bring this to your church or study group.